just a few more case histories as examples of how people rewarded interaction online. Pizza Hut, what we're talking about over there. Pizza Hut built an application on Facebook where you can order your pizzas on Facebook itself. And because it knows where you're located, because that's part of your Facebook profile, it could route your order correctly to a Pizza Hut near where you're living. The point is that you got a discount when you did that. Why? Right? Why? Because if you ordered a pizza on the Pizza Hut application, it went on your wall that you ordered a pizza, which means your entire network was notified that you did that. So there was a viral component. They gave a discount. They rewarded interaction, but in exchange for that, they got the viral effect that your entire network knows when you ordered a pizza from Pizza Hut. And not only that, but they brought the experience of ordering closer to their customer. You didn't have to go to the Pizza Hut website. You didn't have to pick up the phone. You could do it on Facebook, which is where these people were spending time already. And they could just click over, order their pizza, and be done. So they even started an application for the iPhone where you could order your pizzas using an iPhone application. 20% discount. 20% off iPhone orders. Right? They're rewarding interaction. Why? Because they're getting these apps on people's iPhones all across the country, which increases the odds that they're going to be ordering pizza from Pizza Hut in the future. So just how can you guys, whatever it is you want your customers to do, how can you incent them to use the social web and interact with you there? This is one of the examples that really started this whole thing. More than a year ago, the Australia Tourism Board offered the best job in the world. They're offering to pay someone $100,000 for 6 months to live on the Great Barrier Reef. And they got all the snorkeling equipment they could handle and all the stuff that they needed to enjoy the Great Barrier Reef. All they needed to do was write 2 blog posts for Australia Tourism per day. They're rewarding interaction. They're saying, here's a prize. Here's a prize. Right? Interact with us. In order to apply, you had to submit a video, 1 minute or less, of why you wanted the job. And almost 35,000 videos were posted on YouTube. Right, by young, good-looking, in-shape people for the most part, talking about how awesome it would be to live in the Great Barrier Reef for 6 months. Right, just the quantity of content alone. These are 35,000 advertisements for the Great Barrier Reef that they got as a result of the campaign. And then you could vote for your favorite video, but it was only 1 vote per email address. So they were building an email address list at the same time. And they ended up with over 400,000 email addresses. It's amazing. They provided a prize. They provided a carrot. And people interacted in a huge way, which changed their business. This is a company in New Orleans, Naked Pizza. And look at this. They embraced Twitter. They put up this huge sign outside of their store. Here's the sign before they put it up. And here's their Twitter profile. And they gave an incentive, 10% off if you tweet your pizza order in. Right, 68% of their orders are tweeted in. Why? Because every time you tweet an order in, all of your followers see that you just got an order from Naked Pizza. Again, there's this viral component. They're providing an incentive, but they're getting something in exchange for that. And that is that all these people are finding out that you just ordered a pizza from Naked Pizza. 85% of their new customers come from Twitter, which is amazing in itself. And finally, Burger King, we talked about this yesterday. I love this case history. We all have friends on Facebook, those of us on Facebook. But in many cases, we connect with those people at some point in time, and then weeks or months go by, and we may not actually be interacting with that person, but we're still technically friends on Facebook. So Burger King had this application where you had to sacrifice your friends to win free Whoppers. So, and you had to, literally, you can see it here, you had to sacrifice 10 friends and you get a free Whopper. Okay? And the thing took off. You can imagine the buzz. Right? Everyone's talking about what's going on, and eventually Facebook actually shut it down. They said, this is not cool. You can't do this. But not before almost 250,000 friendships were sacrificed through this application. And what did it cost them? What did it cost them? Less than 20 grand to build the application, 1 press release, and they gave away about 20,000 free Whoppers. From a media perspective, it was the most overwhelmingly positive campaign they'd ever run. Creative. And they gave, again, they were incenting interaction. They're saying, oh, we'll give you something. Not much, a whopper. But they're engaging the community and getting people to interact. So when you reward interaction, that interaction leads to trust, and trust is an essential precursor to the purchase decision. They have to trust you first. Interaction equals trust. There's studies out there that when people click on a website, even for the first time, their trust level doubles with your website. Now, granted, they're brand new on the site, so it might be from like 2% to 4%. I mean, it's not. But the study is that every time they click, they're saying, yes, I'm still interested. Every time they click on something, they're saying, yes, I want to see what's behind this door, right? Every interaction leads to trust. And as that trust grows, they're more and more likely to buy something. So just looking at all three, awareness leads to interest, interest leads to demand. Engagement leads to inclusion, that leads to loyalty. And interaction leads to trust. And trust is an essential precursor to the purchase decision. So if you want demand, loyalty, and purchases, right, what are the things that you can control that can lead to that? The things that you can control that lead to that is building awareness, and promoting that engagement, and rewarding interaction. That's what we can control that leads through to what it is we're looking for at the end. So think back 10 years, 11 years now, just as a final example, and one that we used yesterday as well. 1999 is the year that The Matrix came out, which seems recent to me. It's almost incredible that it was 11 years ago. 1999 is also the year that the Columbine High School shooting took place in Colorado, which for me is still fresh in my mind, for sure. It doesn't seem that long ago. But who was Barack Obama in 1999? Right? I mean, again, this comes right back to where we started. He was nobody. He was a community organizer. In less than 10 years, right, 10 years later, he was standing on that stage in Chicago as the president. It's astonishing, the rise that he's had in his career. And it boils down to this relationship of teacher versus student. And stay with me on this, because it's a little bit distant, but we've always had this model where there's a teacher, someone of authority, someone who we're told is important, who's telling us what to do or what to think or whatever. A newspaper is credible because they're the newspaper and so on. But when you have this model in all these different social media platforms, you can reward your peers' content. Right? So if someone puts a video you like, you can like it, you can comment on it, you can dig it on Dig, you can stumble it on StumbleUpon, you can say I like it on Facebook or comment or share it with your friends. You can endorse your peers' content, and when you do that, it takes the teacher role right out of the equation, because the peer group can educate itself. Right? That means we're all teachers. We all have that opportunity to teach in our own field and become a leader in our own field. And maybe see the same kinds of successes that some of these people saw in theirs as a result of assuming that role and taking ownership of that role. So the biggest thing that's changed is that in the good old days, people looked at the source first. Who said it came first. What did they say came second. It was in the New York Times. That's why it's good content. Okay, as an example. And I'm not saying the New York Times is bad. It's a great organization. But in the good old days, they looked at that first. Today, that's exactly what's reversed. They look at the content first. And if it's good quality content, they ask who you are afterwards. It's a huge shift. And that's exactly how this guy won. Because they didn't ask, he's not exactly the normal pedigree for the US presidency, but they looked at who he was afterwards, and they looked at his content second. They looked at his content first and who he was second. So if they're going to look at your content first, what is your content as a business? And take that content and share it on some of these platforms. That's where the opportunity is to get out there and populate the internet with some of your expertise. So I'll leave you with the same thought that I opened with today, which is the future is already here. It's already here. But there are people doing it already. It's just not evenly distributed yet. So claim that future for yourself today at a conference like this or whatever it is.